A massive thank you to Sheridan, Scarlett, Norbert, Sniper and Aiden for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 13 of season 7 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday we head back to the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, Spa-Francorchamps. I'm going to say the cliches I say every season. At least in my eyes, it's the best track in Formula 1. Hasn't always delivered the best racing over the last few years, but I absolutely love coming back to this circuit. However, F1 2021 has been a bit of a roller coaster journey for me around this venue. But of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live yesterday, even from the Hungarian Grand Prix, trying to smash out the uploads before F1 2022 releases in just a few weeks' time, definitely would recommend going back and checking out. Again, a massive thank you to all of you guys. We've smashed through 47,000 subscribers, less than 3,000 to go before 50k there, and of course trying to hit that before F1 2022 releases. So yeah, if you're not already, please do give us a subscribe. It massively helps support the channel. But yeah, like I said, go back and check out the Hungarian Grand Prix yesterday if you missed it, because there are going to be spoilers in just a moment. In fact, there's going to be spoilers pretty much now. So that has been your warning before we jump into this one today. Not the best race in the world. There is the graph. I thought then we'd lost everything from this season because the graphics were a bit bugged for a moment. Yeah, not the best race for myself. But luckily, not a particularly brilliant race for George Russell either there. Means the gap at the top has come down, but it's still 51 points as we head into round 13 of the year here. I'm on 212 points, which I thought was pretty funny as well there. And yeah, Red Bull lead the way in the Constructors by 23 over us. So Verstappen, he's showing signs of promise at the moment, but it's just not consistent enough like we need it. However, we've got what used to effectively be his home Grand Prix in Formula 1 today. Then we've actually got his home Grand Prix going live probably on Monday at the time this video is being recorded. So, fingers crossed our teammate can pull his finger out. Let's get into it then here from Belgium. Right, well here we are then, back at Spa-Francorchamps. Like I always say, love coming back to the Belgian Grand Prix here. But like we often see though, because of all the straights, makes some of the practice programs very easy. However, yeah, then you get to qualifying and the AI kind of just turn it up by so much there. Verstappen, of course, has done some mega laps around here. I probably won't ever forget the pole I set last time round around this venue. But out of the final corner, up towards the line, that's going to be a purple score there. Let's get into our qualifying sim run. And I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty certain the tyre wear sim run we'd just done, we'd pretty much matched the qualifying delta, or the practice program time that the game was hoping we'd achieve in this program, so not really too surprising that we're getting up towards 3 seconds up as we head in through the final chicane there. Desperately need a bus stop remodel though on F1 at some point. Don't think it's coming on F1 2022, but fingers crossed F1 23 as a 39.1 at the end of qualifying sim run. But I think qualifying is meant to be changeable conditions. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. The choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Jumping into qualifying then, here from Belgium, and safe to say the heavens have well and truly opened. Q1 was nice plain sailing. As soon as we get into Q2, like as often happens in the Ardennes Forest, the rain appears out of nowhere, and it's only meant to get worse as Q2 goes on. So we've really tried to jump out nice and early in the session here, try and get a good banker lap on the board, just in case, of course, yeah, track conditions don't improve. Then fingers crossed, you know, it might be a case of first car out has got a big advantage here in qualifying, but we'll try and keep it clean and tidy on this lap anyway. Fingers crossed, just we run a little bit wide up through Eau Rouge and Rally on there. Kept the wheels on the curves and certainly didn't gain anything out of it. Did lift out of the throttle as we head up the Kemmel Straight there. 205 miles an hour in the rain. You got to be pretty brave to do that there as well. A little bit of front locking at the top of the hill, but we get away with it. Let's just keep this lap going. Esteban Ocon set the pace there as Nikita Mazepin now goes just a little bit faster. I do not want to end the qualifying session on F1 where Mazepin is fastest, and luckily it doesn't look like we will. There's Ricciardo, finds a whole lot more pace, blending the throttle as we head through Blanchimont towards the end of the lap. Really struggling actually to get the car slowed down through the heavy braking zones as Verstappen, our teammate, now goes fastest up towards the line though. Are we going to go any quicker? No, 38 thousandths behind Max, but that's pretty good then early on in the session. Now we've got to hope it absolutely tips it down. Right, well, we're going to have to go out for one more attempt just in case their rain's definitely getting heavier, but we're 7th at the moment, so we're getting pretty close to the drop zone. So I just want to make sure we're out on a second run in case anyone else does improve as we head out the final corner then once more. Try and put the power down. Oh, there's not much grip around this circuit at the moment. Like I said, I'm not sure we're going to be able to find any more time as we head through turn 1. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up there as immediately. Looks like everyone else has bailed out on their laps. So yeah, half second down already at the first couple of corners. I don't think... Yeah, there's no way anyone's going to improve here. We've safely made it through then at least, which is good. Well, there we go. Then we do squeeze through into Q3 there. George Russell fastest on a 48 flat. But yeah, I mean, Carlos Sainz somehow managed to get in the gap between Verstappen and I there. Any shocks out in Q2 though. Lando Norris was strong in Q1. Charles Leclerc and Yuki Tsunoda as well there. And yeah, just the Alpine and Mazepin and both Aston Martins out in Q2. It's going to be a case of trying to be on a lap at the right time here in Q3 at Belgium. Could we see a similar story to real life's real Grand Prix? To last year's real life Grand Prix? I can still words. Right, well, we're only going to give ourselves one shot here then in Q3 because it just looks like the rain is getting less and less as this final run has continued on there. A lot of other cars coming around to finish off their laps. Everyone out though currently on the circuits. There is a big opportunity here. You know, if your last car on a run is there we go, Verstappen now slots up onto pole position, but out of the final corner then. And like I said, now it is just a one-shot qualifying session. You can see Sainz a little way up the road. He was on a full set of full wet, sorry. But yeah, no idea sort of what times we're going to see from other cars here. You can just see Russell and Perez getting shuffled down the order there as everyone tries to improve as they come across the line. George Russell, there we go. He's now might just get the pole he was robbed of last year. Sergio Perez goes even faster. But now it's just a case of can we find any more time? Can we go quicker than a 49.8 here? Like I said, it is just a one-shot qualifying session for us, and we're purple. We're purple through Sector 1 there as we try and attack the curbs at the top of the hill. So we head down the hill in towards... I almost called it Mirabeau there, but that definitely isn't correct. Is it Bruxelles? I can never remember some of the corner names around here. That might have been Malmedy. This, of course, is No Name. Yeah, No Name is the name. So we head down the hill in towards Pillon there, taking the esports line. Don't know if it's any quicker, but esports drivers do it, and I mean I'm basically there on the skillers trying to just modulate the throttle on the exit there. As down in towards Sector 3, now in towards the Fanyas chicane we go. Attack the curbs on the inside through the first and the second part there. Use all the track width on the exit, and then get the car back over. Attack the curbs once more, using all the curbing on the exit there. As are we purple? No, we're not at the moment, so this could be quite close as we head up the hill in towards the final few corners. I think there's only a couple of tenths in it between Sergio Perez, George Russell, and myself here as well. Of course, Max Verstappen is not far away. Pretty much got everything we could as we went through Blanchimont there. Get the car slowed down, avoid front lock-in as we head through the final chicane there. Attack the curbs on the exit. Try to get the throttle down as you run up towards the line. Is it pole? Yes, it is, but was it by a second?
Good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Did we find a load of time in that final sector? I think we might have done.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Mr. Monaco, Perez, and George Russell. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, there we go then. Yeah, we must have found a ton of time in the final sector there. Were a 29.6 up against Perez's. Yeah, no, 29.4. Where did we find the time over Checo Perez there? Was it in the middle sector? No, we found all the time in Sector 1. How did we find a second through that first sector there? I've got no idea how we managed that over Sergio Perez there. So clearly we're running a lot less downforce than a lot of other cars, or was just that much braver up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon, but it is pole position then here for the Belgian Grand Prix. I thought it was going to be mighty close at the end of the qualifying laps, but we've smashed it. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome along then to the Belgian Grand Prix, the race that gave us the maiden victory for the Jordan team in 1998. And in the same team, the phenomenal debut of a young Michael Schumacher. There's always something special around one of the many corners of this fan-favourite circuit. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 metres of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Lance Stroll, and Joe, Sainz, Bottas, Giovinazzi, and Daniel Ricciardo, Norris, Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda, and Mazepin, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Jack Aitken, and Christian Lundgaard, Latifi, Ireland, Schwartzman, and Luca Giotto. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid, ready for the Belgian Grand Prix here. Really looking forward to this one today. And yeah, Max Verstappen on the second row. Please, Max, can you finally pull your finger out and be useful to the team here? We've got a little points deficit to Red Bull at the moment in the Constructors' Championship, so we need Max Verstappen back at his old self if we want to try and fight for the Constructors here. Of course, Red Bull ended up taking it last year because our old teammate Pierre Gasly just couldn't quite match him. But yeah, this season round, you know, Verstappen, arguably the best driver in Formula 1 currently. I need him to be working alongside us here. But we got both Red Bulls between us off the start. It's what 2-1-2. Red Bull 2-1-2 on the front rows of the grid here. But we need to try and keep George Russell at bay as well there. As we get ready then, here at Belgium, 22 laps ahead of us, 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. Oh, not the best start in the world, rather unsurprisingly, as we're going to try and do our best Verstappen impression and keep the nose up the inside there. A little bit of contact with George Russell, but I think we both get away with it, as both Red Bulls then making the move work, but they're going to go side by side as we head down in towards Eau Rouge and Raidillon on this first lap there. Who's going to come out on top? They both make it work somehow, as Verstappen tries to get a run on me there. Well, I don't think he's quite got enough there, and a fantastic start then to this Grand Prix for George Russell there, third to first off the start. Checo doesn't gain, Checo doesn't lose, but we're down 2 spots there as we head up over the top of the hill immediately though. On the offensive on Sergio Perez, they're accidentally taking a lot of curb here as he's going to try and go defensive as we head down the hill there. Oh, trying to get a bit brave and ambitious on this opening lap. Verstappen has a look up the inside there, as again, just trying to take a lot of curb early on here. Accidentally put himself on the esports line that time round as we head through Puon. Yeah, the AI, I think, still have got a little bit of an advantage down through there at the moment as Russell, yeah, leads the way on this opening lap then. 2 critical moves for him, went down the middle at turn 1, but this is exactly what he needs to be doing at this stage of the year if he wants to try and keep his title chances alive. But as we head out through Stabilo here, as we head back up the hill in towards the final corner, looks like one of the Williams has had issues off the start. They've dropped quite far back as look at the top speed we've got over Sergio Perez. That through launch him one-handed. So we think about going for a move. No, thought better of it there on lap 1. But Russell leads then at the end of lap 1. So it's Red Bull, 2-1-2, 2-1-2. We're just trying to stagger my run on Sergio Perez here. We might have been able to get close to have a look up the inside in towards the final chicane here. We're going to try and wait till we get back round to the Camel Straight there. Checo is not keeping inside the DRS of his teammate here. So George Russell trying to do what he did at Silverstone, to be honest, and just break away there as he pulls out another half a second.
You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Yeah, this is the plan now. We should be able to get some overspeed on Sergio Perez when we head up the hill there. You can see he's using a little bit more battery as we head down in towards Eau Rouge and Radion, as we're just going to try and keep it nice and tidy. Heavy fuel, but this car now is so well balanced. Even then, it's still easy flat every time round in the race room. Look at this big overspeed on Checo Perez here. We should be cleanly past him, get back over to the racing line, and now back up into P2 then of the Grand Prix. George Russell 1.4 up the road. I cannot afford to let George break away. So we take a lot of curb there on the exit. That's just again how hard we're pushing early on here in Belgium. I feel like I say that pretty much every race in this series. We're always pushing really hard. But yeah, now we've got to see how close we can stick to Russell and maybe, just maybe, get back inside the DRS. That is not the line down through Puon, and despite running wide there and effectively gaining an advantage, Checo Perez still takes 2/10 out of me. I love F1 2021, I really do. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues in this Grand Prix. Please don't say it's our teammate Verstappen, though. It's one of the Alfa Romeos way back down. Is it Jack Aitken? Might well be Jack Aitken. No, he's still going then, so I don't know what's happened. Very odd place to bin it. Yeah, I think... Oh, no, he is, I think, coming to a stop then. So Alfa Romeo out, and yeah, it is Jack Aitken then out of the Grand Prix there. So that's 2 warnings in 2 laps. We can't keep doing that down through Puon. I mean, at the moment, we seem to be marginally quicker than George Russell at this stage of the day, but we're also carrying Checo and Verstappen along with the DRS there, as that was not the line up the top of the hill there. I mean, we are just giving it absolutely everything to try and take any time out of George, but I think that Red Bull's just got a little bit more pace in it at this stage of the game. Red Bull just always seem to be able to build a little bit of a stronger car than anyone else. Obviously, we've got every upgrade possible on this thing.
On the MFD.
Team recommended new strat as I almost clipped the death curb. Team want us to box into lap 10 now. So they want us to really extend this soft tyre stint. I'm guessing Verstappen wants to box lap 9. And then to lap 6 then, looks like... Oh, I was about to say Verstappen's dropped out of the DRS, but maybe Perez has done the same as we head back down through turn 1. That's not going to be a good line. Try and break him out of the zone. It's going to be close, actually, on the exit here. Have we kept Perez out of DRS? I think we have, just about this time round. So now, I mean, Perez wasn't exactly applying pressure to us, but it just means rather than this being a 4-horse race, slowly just skimming away there, and now it's down to Russell and I, as the gap is still coming down, little bit by little bit, each and every lap. End of lap 8 then. I wonder now if we're going to start seeing some alternate strategy calls. There's none of the top 3 in. Verstappen not in either. So yeah, now it might be a case of we might be trying to overcut George Russell in this Grand Prix, or he might come in on the same lap we do. It might allow Verstappen and Perez just to get a little bit closer once more. But apologies, you know, it hasn't been the most eventful race in the world. I've just been concentrating that hard because we're taking that little amount of time out of George Russell every lap. I know when I get it hooked up, I am taking time out of our fellow Brit, but it's just trying to get it hooked up every single lap is much easier said than done, and of course it means we're not making overtakes or anything like that still, but we are just trying to get everything out of the car there. As for the first time today, gap under 1 second, but it will float back out of it again when we get through Puon. End of lap 9 then, and Russell again still not into the pits, so we are going to box in at the same time here. Sergio Perez further back, he's going to box.
This lap. Push hard on the in-lap.
So I wonder, yeah, we got Verstappen doing the same then. So weirdly, yeah, both teams opting to put their second drivers into the pits first. Fingers crossed this is going to allow Verstappen just to take a bit of time out of Checo here. But yeah, both George Russell and his tyres starting to bleed. But at least it remains just a complete dogfight between the pair of us. As now, yeah, the gap 1.2 when we get through the detection zone. We're using a lot of battery though up the Kemmel Straight. Let's just try and gain that little bit more time. As George Russell this time around, as our tyres have just started to bleed, I think, a little bit more than the Red Bulls. Gaps just opened up ever so slightly, but now we need to be brave on pit entry. Try and take as much time out of him as we can, as you can just see there. Really trying to maximise our way into the pit. Oh, only just got it slowed down as well there. That was pretty much everything I'm ever going to be able to get out of a pit lane entry here, and that could be critical in this Grand Prix. George Russell seems to be a nice tidy stop down at Red Bull. Of course, they're known for always getting good stops done. Can we do the same though? This could be critical for the race and the championship. 2.2, there we go. That's what I like to see. And we are now all over the back of Russell as we head out of the pit lane here. Got to try and get heat into the rubber. And look at that, Sergio Perez still a little bit further back, but we've gained a good 8/10 through the pit window, and now we're inside the DRS of our big championship and race rival. Don't care, Jeff. Could not care less right now. Halfway stage of the Grand Prix, we're inside the 1 second zone, and look how much time now we gain as we head down the Kemmel Straight there. This race is on during the second half. We're going to have exactly the same tyre life to the very end there. Looks like the Red Bull is just slightly better on its tyres, just based on the little bit of time we lost through that final lap of the first stint. But now, it's game on. Of course, the most important thing is we don't lose all the time trying to put heat into the tyres either. Just trying to stick as close as we can to George Russell, and like I said, as long as we stay within that 1 second zone. Red Bull definitely got a little bit more through the corners. We've definitely got a bit more down the straightaways here as we come to the end of lap 11. Now officially crossing over the halfway stage in this Grand Prix, but I'd even forgot, of course, the mini DRS zone down the start-finish straight there is purple. Through Sector 3 we go, and is it now pretty much immediately? As soon as we get the DRS there, it brings such a swing of pace in a Grand Prix like this. Of course, such a critical DRS zone here at Belgium. Surely we're going to be able to get a run on George Russell here as we head up through a Rouge and Rally on a little bit of a wobble. We take a lot of curb, but we keep it clean and tidy, and now activate the DRS, and you can immediately see the overspeed we get on the Red Bull. He tries to just move defensive, but clean around the outside of George Russell we go, and for the first time since the start of this Grand Prix, we are back into the lead here at Belgium. Like I said, I apologise, it's not been the most exciting race up to now, but George Russell and I, two championship protagonists, we've let a lot of other cars get wins in early on this year, but now I think it's both of us at our A game, but we take the lead here in Belgium. Oh, look at that!
Just a reminder, we are critical on fuel, probably a lap or so short.
Oh,
we
Jeff,
don't
you're
risk a DNS chasing records, so
yes, we
think about
do.
starting to conserve fuel, maybe lifting earlier into the corners.
I mean, I don't think we can lift earlier into the corners, but we've still got George Russell all over the back of me here as we head back up through a Rouge. George might be able to get a run on me. But yeah, first time under the 140s in this Grand Prix there. As you can just see, the Red Bull, it does definitely gain, of course, down the back straight, but not enough, not the same sort of speed we can. We might just... Whoa, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not going to help us long term. It really is just a case of George Russell is faster on the bits of the track you can't overtake. And I mean, to be fair, at the moment, with 7 laps to go, 8 laps to go of the Grand Prix, George Russell, he's not exactly falling back behind me. He's certainly applying a lot of pressure. That Red Bull is just powerless down the straights. Just see how much time we gain, even when he's got the slipstream on us. Just cannot keep up. We've just got so much power from this Mercedes engine at the moment. And of course, always the design philosophy of these cars has been about trying to maximise straight line speed as well. Russell, though, still trying to keep us honest. But at the moment, we're just about doing everything we possibly can, and everything we need to as well. Is he now going to be able to get a run? As we head up the Kemmel Straight there, not the best run up through a Rouge and Rally on. Gap is coming down, and now with the DRS, he is going to get close to George Russell actually this time round. Gaining once again comes the Red Bull, but we've just about got enough ponies to keep him at bay once more there. Red Bull, I'm sure, desperately wishing they'd given him one less clicker front wing. Lap 17 now, and Russell's just trying to turn up the wick a little bit more late on in the Grand Prix. Just sort of seeing if, you know, applying a bit more pressure, he can try and force an error. And he's immediately just run a little bit wide over the curbing. And this time around, yeah, George Russell's actually going to be very, very close as we head down in towards Eau Rouge there. You almost thought about having a look up the inside, but now with the DRS, George Russell, he's probably going to have the overspeed on me this time round. And here comes George Russell. Please no, we cannot afford to have an engine failure at this critical point of the championship. Azor contact between myself and George, and yeah, now I'm very, very worried.
Of fuel remaining.
Now I'm very, very worried. We haven't had an engine failure in a long old time in this career mode, and now would not be the time to get one as we try and stick close to George as we head down the hill.
Okay, looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire. Sorry about that.
Oh!
This is serious. We need you to retire as soon as possible.
I cannot believe that. We've just spent 17 laps giving it absolutely everything here at Belgium. The win was definitely on the table, a bit like the Williams RTG a few days ago, and it's all come undone there. Like I said, we haven't had a reliability failure in years in this career mode,
right?
and that
Engine
might
off,
just
engine
give us
off.
a big knock in the Drivers' Championship.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Belgian Grand Prix there. And like I said, this track has been brutal in the past on F1 games for me in recent years. Never quite has it been that bad, though. An unfortunate mechanical failure late on in the day. We'll have to get back to the team and see what went wrong there. I actually put a fresh engine in the back of the car this weekend as well to try and eliminate any issues like that, especially with a couple more big power tracks coming up there. But Red Bull, because of that, pick up yet another one too in this championship. Max Verstappen in P3, a better race than he's often had this year, but that is, yeah, just been a huge dent in the Constructors' Championship there. Stroll 4th ahead of both Alpha Tauris, 5th and 6th there. Gio, Ricciardo, Sainz and Bottas rounding out the top 10. And Charles Leclerc was so consistent early on in the year, it was all just falling apart in recent races there. We join Jack Aitken on the sidelines when all is said and done there, and that, yeah, means Drivers' Championship wise, we went from a 51-point lead over George Russell to now just 26 there, with Sergio Perez being just 51 points back as we head in towards the final few races. I say the final few races, there's still, what, 10 races to go of this campaign then. Norris jumps Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen makes big gains there, and really, I mean, Lando Norris all the way down to Verstappen, a 5-car scrap for P4 overall in the Drivers' Championship there. Zhou Guanyu with that big result jumps Esteban Ocon further down the order, and then Constructors-wise, 51 now the gap opened up to at the top of the championship. It is not looking great for us at this stage of the campaign there. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. A brutal way to end the Belgian Grand Prix, but I said it actually during the Hungarian race yesterday. You know, we built up that cushion in case of things like this there. But that's racing sometimes. We'll be back very, very soon in Zandvoort. Fingers crossed there we can have a bit of a better run. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.